to develop good human beings, as I call better human beings rather than bitter human beings. So, possessing compassion and empathy, there should be in them the values and courage and resilience and scientific temper and creative imagination with sound ethical moorings and values. The policy aims at producing engaged, productive, and contributing citizens, useful citizens of India. Teachers have been the center of numerous reforms, and teaching is one of the noblest profession. The position of teachers in ancient India can only be restored if teaching in the classrooms is of optimum standard, and we are able to facilitate them in case a teacher faces some hardships in some areas. So, Gurukul system for ancient India has to be remembered this time. And if you can go for that, then we can find that we are advancing for glorious past education. When it is called Sardavan Labde Jnanam, if we don't have respect for the teacher and the learning process, then we cannot learn anything. That is the prime thing. And how the respect is always commanded, not demanded. If we command the respect, then we must have the values and ethics and attitude of a teacher. As earlier speaker given his examples, stories, that those are we have to change. We have to change as per the need of the hour. So our policy addresses these issues, and this execution of this policy is very much important. In line with this, after rounds of deliberations with the experts throughout the country, NCT has come out with an initial document, Blue Book on Mentoring, on 3rd November 2021, which is in public domain for inviting suggestions or feedbacks. As envisaged in the policy, National Mentoring Mission is a mission to create a pool of senior or retired faculty or people who can offer short-term and long-term mentoring professional development courses to the teachers for their continuous and desired professional development. Retired teacher will update himself. It does not mean that he is retired and he is not getting updated. Updation is always required. Every day we update ourselves. So the services of the retired teachers will be better as they have the vast experience and they have witnessed the journey of our education system for the past long years. So a little updation can make them the real mentors. That is required. We just cannot say that they are retired and they have become useless people. No, that should not be the spirit. Our spirit should be that we should update ourselves till the last date, and we should offer our services to the nation. And because we owe our nation a great debt. The nation has given us this opportunity, and we are fortunate enough to be in this profession. Having in this profession, this is a noble profession. We are creating human resource, and that human resource, useful citizens of the nation, that is the requirement. So little bit updation will make them enormous encyclopedia of knowledge and experience, and their deliberations will certainly enrich the quality of the students. So mentoring is the art, is an art, and the art comes through the philosophy, through the core of our heart, our tradition, our values, our strong ideas. Those make us a mentor. Simply knowing things cannot make a person mentor. Knowing and then expressing and then having dedication, then having the sense of contribution. If we are having a sense of contribution and commitment to our nation, we will certainly like to be mentors. So that should be the spirit. So mentoring at its core understands that relationships are a powerful tool to integrate solutions into education system. At the heart of the mentorship is a mentor who cares for its mentees, assures them they are not alone in dealing with the day-to-day challenges, and resolves the issues as a friend, philosopher, and guide. So quality mentoring addresses a variety of personal, academic, and professional issues which many a times a teacher is not able to cover up. Hence, mentoring ensures systematic solution to help teachers and school leaders to meet the demands of the 21st century learners. When we say 21st century, it does not mean that 21st century is cut off our past. Our past is ingredient into that. It is woven just like a fine thread. So that should be clear. We are not being drifted away from our past. We are advancing on the basis of the past solid background. So that should be taken into mind that 21st century is just time is changing, but along the time, the demands and requirements and tendencies of the age also changes. And what guides us better, that is our experience and that is our glorious past, which we should not forget at all. So this hence mentoring and your systematic solution to help teachers and people related with this. NMM is committed to provide this critical support for fostering a structured mentoring relationship between the mentor and mentees through development of a common learning platform called Unified Learning Interface (ULI) for successful and structured implementation of the mission. At the end, once again, I would like to extend my greetings to the School Education Department of Puducherry for organizing this event in collaboration with EE. We look forward for a holistic deliberation with all stakeholders to promote the spirit of learning, reflection, and sharing towards achieving quality education for all and receive quality inputs on the Blue Book. So our institute should be of a guide, of a philosopher, of a friend, and there should be no barrier between the mentor and the mentees. We should come over all these impediments. So I wish you all the best and thank you very much for organizing this program and hope that such programs will enrich the quality of our mentors. Thank you very much. I end my talk here. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Professor G.P. Saklamaji, the chairperson of NCTE, for that valuable keynote address. Famous English poet and the friend of great poet William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge said, "Advice is like snow. The softer it falls, the longer it dwells upon, and the deeper it sinks into the mind. So, authoritative approach will not succeed in case of mentoring." In our tradition, we describe it as Kanta Samhidam, meaning the approach of a dear friend. This is one of the main focus and the way of approach of this program. Now, I request the Member Secretary of NCTE, Madam Kesan Vaisharpa, to set the agenda of this event. Please, Madam.
The minister is not here, but Shri A. Namashivayan, Honorable Minister of Education, Puducherry Government, Professor D.P. Saklani, Chairperson, NCTE, Shri Sundareswaran, Secretary, Education, Puducherry Government, Professor Gurmeet Singh, Vice Chancellor, Puducherry University, Shri P.T. Rudagor, Director, School Education, Professor Sharad Sinha, NCRT, and our member from the National Mission for Mentoring Committee, all the teachers, the academicians, the experts, the students, and the panelists, and all other national awardees are there also, and all our stakeholders and friends who have joined us online and offline. Namaskar. At the outset, I would like to thank the Puducherry government for having collaborated with the National Council for Teacher Education on this very important mandate of ours, the NMM. And we are having a series of open houses for the National Mentoring Mission. And this is the penultimate one, the 15th one in this line. Let me let you know that the NCTE is carrying out a number of tasks under the NEP 2020. One of them is the 4-year integrated teacher education program. We are also having the 2-year and the 1-year B.Ed program, a 4-year physical education program, a 4-year art education program, the very important National Professional Standard for Teachers, and this National Mentoring Mission. So these are the various works that the NCTE is working on, which are required and coming out of the National Education Policy 2020. The speakers before me, and we have our experts here, they will speak to you in detail about this NMM. But let me just tell you, in NCT, what we are doing as far as the National Mission for Mentoring is concerned. My chairperson has already told you that we had come out with the My NEP 2020 on our portal in April 2021, and we received about 1,800 plus suggestions from all our stakeholders. A committee was formed by the National Council for Teacher Education, headed by Dr. S.T. Roy from Navy, and Professor Sharad Sinha is also a member on that committee. After consultations with various experts across the country and taking into account the various suggestions that we have received from our stakeholders in the My NEP 2020 and separately also, finally we came out with this Blue Book on mentoring, which was our first draft in November 2021. This Blue Book has been widely appreciated across the country because it talks about the needs of the National Mentoring Mission and proposes the structure, the actors, the characteristics, and the platforms that would be included in the National Mentoring Mission. It also talks about the 3 tiers of the NMM, that is the mentors, the mentees, and the administrators. It also talks about a description of a common platform, which our chairperson has already talked about, the Unified Learning Program, which is aligned with the National Digital Education Architecture, or the NDA. Now, as far as the NMM is concerned, post that release of our Blue Book on NMM, we have conducted, as I've already told you, a series of open houses, which is our outreach program to our stakeholders. This was held across the country, from the east to the west and the north to the south. And we have received some very, very valuable suggestions because we could interact directly with the stakeholders, which are the teachers, and get very valuable insights from them. All these suggestions, the relevant ones, we have taken into our final draft on mentoring mission, which is being submitted to the ministry. And it is so important for us because this interaction between the NCTE and our stakeholders, primary stakeholders, is what was important because the policy document was there, but whether it was implementable, what we missed out, what we needed to add, that came out after our open houses all across the country. I would also like to share with you that we are also in the next phase developing a mobile app. It's almost ready, it will be launched next year. And that would be another way to get into this mentoring mission. It will be open for both the mentors and the mentees. And initially, because it is such a big program and it is coming out for the first time, we will be launching it in a pilot mode in about 25 select institutions. And we will take 1 year to see the entire process, do a lot of research, do a lot of capacity building, and we will come out with our final guideline on the National Mentoring Mission, probably at the end of the next year, ready for the next academic session. And then this program will be rolled out to the country, but since it's a federal structure, we will give it as a guideline, and the states would take it as a guiding document. We would be happy if the states would align with us, but otherwise it would be as a guiding document. And as the Vice Chancellor had pointed out, yes, we are not restricting this NMM, and also Madam here from the inclusive education, special education, she had asked, we are not restricting it to only retired professors or academicians. We will also be having skilled professionals. This mentoring mission is not restricted to age or your seniority. For example, he pointed out, and we are also aware, that certain things related to AI or some concepts, like supposing any skills, maybe a younger person would be more adept or more skilled to mentor on that particular subject. So this is not going to be seniority or age or retired or anything. And we are also planning to link this National Mentoring Mission with the National Professional Standard for Teachers. So this is also very much on an angle. And like for example, I can see some national awardees here. So they could come on board with us, as our mentors, in the particular subjects that they are having the competence with. And as my chairperson has already pointed out, and our speakers before me also were saying, that this mentoring is not exactly teaching content. It is a sort of a hand-holding, capacity building, collaborative activity between all the stakeholders. And a mentor is supposed to be more, as somebody pointed out, a friend, philosopher, and guide. So we at NCT are very, very keen to launch this National Mission for Mentoring. As of now, mentoring was only restricted to students. When we say mentor, we automatically think of a younger child. And I think for the first time, we are taking it to first in the pilot mode for school teachers and our school leaders. And the Vice Chancellor had also pointed out that why not for the higher education? Let me inform you that there is a mentoring document coming out even for the higher education, but that would be brought out by the UGC. So at the end, I want to thank the Puducherry government for collaborating with us once again. I want to thank my chairperson, Professor D.P. Saklani, for his overarching guidance and support. I want to thank all the panelists who are joining us. The Honorable Minister is not there, but I would like to thank him also. And I want to thank my team from NCT who have been dedicatedly working on this project and taking forward this mission, this very important mission of the government. I would request all of you to please send in your suggestions to on our website, the Gmail on our website, the email on our website. We would be glad to incorporate those which are relevant. And when this mentoring portal is finally launched, we would like all of you, to also enroll in that. And of course, there will be a validation process that will be out in the domain, but at least the persons who have the expertise, we would like you to enroll in that and become part of this very important and wide mission to uplift not only the standard of teaching in the country, but to make teaching the noblest of all professions as it once was. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Madam. We are expecting our Honorable Minister soon. Till then, we are just holding this inaugural session for a while, and then we will go ahead with our discussion session. Now I will hand over the stage to Professor Sharad Sinha, Regila Marinus, and their team. Thank you very much.
Good morning, namaskar and vanakkam to all. And Honorable Minister, Shri Namashivayamji, Secretary, Higher Education, Government of Puducherry, Director NCRT and Chairperson NCTE, Professor D.P. Saklani ji, Professor Mohan, and the Director of School Education, Shri Puducherry ji, and all the mentors who are present in the hall, and the team from NCTE. I'm extremely pleased to share with all of you about the Blue Book on mentoring. As the Blue Book has been shared with you, it was on the NCTE website, and the previous speakers also spoke about the Blue Book. So first of all, today morning when I was going through the educational statistics of Puducherry, I found it very, very encouraging and inspiring, as I was also discussing it with the director. When we talk of literacy rate all over the country, Puducherry stands 7th all over the country. The female literacy rate is also comparatively higher than the neighboring states, keep aside Kerala. And then the GER in Puducherry, as per the 2011 census, from that time it has shown a considerable rise. So with all these factors and the uniqueness which Puducherry has. 4 districts, 5 different boards I was told about, I was discussing. We have the Kerala board, we have the this Tamil Nadu board, then CBSE and 2 more boards which were told to me. So the unique system makes it a very, very good case for the need of mentors. See, the diversity of country is immense, and the diversity in a small UT of Puducherry is further, it is eye-opening and it needs mentoring. So why mentoring has to be taken, why mentoring is important has been emphasized by the previous speakers. The VC also spoke about it. Madam Shepa also spoke about it. And the person who is, sir is coordinating, he also has been giving nuggets of wisdom about mentoring. So when we talk in terms of the National Education Policy 2020, it is mainly thinking or envisioning of transforming the entire education system of the country. And when we talk of transformation, what comes to our mind that what is the transformation that has to take place, how it has to take place, who will be the agent of transformation. So the policy lays extreme impetus and points out the teacher to be the pivot of all the activities, the teacher responsible for bringing out all these transformation. It's the teacher who holds the key to all this transformation. And the policy also suggests the structural changes in the school education system, that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Now, preparing teachers for such a system who are already into the system and the newly inducted teachers in the system is a big challenge. For this, we need a lot of hand-holding and a lot of mentoring is required. Who would do the mentoring? It was talked about earlier in the document NEP 2020 that it would be the senior and the retired persons. But now the perspective has changed. We are bringing in anyone who is having a tacit knowledge in the field of education. It is the experience which our teachers have is immense. When they go out of the system or there is attrition from the system, their knowledge goes with them. Now, for this transformation in the entire education scenario, we require a lot of changes, lot of hand-holding and lot of mentoring. And people with lot of skills and competencies to handle our teachers. That is where mentoring becomes very, very important. And the blue book, which has been brought out by the NCTE, talks of how this mentoring would be done, why mentoring is important, all of us know, and what would be the role of the mentor. It also talks about there are many processes which we are aware of. What we are aware of mentoring as a concept. We are also aware of coaching. We are also aware of simply teaching, and somebody was talking about advising also. So how all these processes are different, where an advice can turn into mentoring, where mentoring could be merely limited as an advice. And how is that when we coach someone, what are the relations between the coach, the person who is being coached and the person who is being coaching. These relationships have to be looked into very deeply by the mentor. And as such, all of us talk that whenever we think of our educational history or how we have come to this position, we always remember somebody who has mentored us, who has handled us and brought up to this place. So when this thing happens, we need to understand how to institutionalize this system of mentoring. We never had this type of system in place where we had designated mentors for a designated skill or competency to be brought out in a group of students. Now this blue book envisages the same thing. It looks into support, encourage, how to support and how to encourage the teacher, and how to manage the learning in the classroom, how to create a classroom ambience. It talks about the support and encourage to our teachers by the mentors. It also talks about managing the classroom ambience and bringing out the maximum potential of our teachers also, which in order would help in bringing out the maximum potential and holistic development of the children in the classroom. So this document, which is, I'm sure, I was told by all the dignitaries here that this document has been distributed to all of you, and I'm sure you must have gone through. And as the member secretary NCT has talked about, that we had many rounds of deliberations throughout the country, and we have got a lot of suggestions, and these suggestions are also being incorporated. So how could this mentoring be useful for the entire education system, for the student, for the teacher, and for the institution? That has to be seen through the lens of the mentors and the teachers. In order, if we talk about mentoring of the students would be able to understand the structure and the concept in a better manner. It would also talk of the Vice Chancellor earlier, Mr. Mohan, mentioned about the storytelling. So storytelling as a pedagogy has been talked about in the NEP 2020. So we all know stories, we have grown up with stories, but which story to use where, to elicit which response from the student, that is a tact or that is a skill that our teachers need to learn. And those people who are adept in this can be mentoring our teachers for them. So all those experiential